Let's see if this works. Now, this is the third time I've done it. And there's some things in the city that mess up my phone. I don't know if it's Homeland Security or cyber security or something like that. But it's windy as hell. So I'm not going to be here a long time. But I was thinking something today. I was listening to the radio early in the morning, and sometimes I just have an earpiece that's sort of like a pillow speaker, so I don't disturb anybody else in the bed. I could just listen. And there was this, I think she was more like a psychiatrist or something like that, helping people with problems for about 20 years, you know. And it occurred, what she said, I mean, I believed in so much, is that, you know, the way to solve a problem, you don't know the answer. None of us know the answer to our problems, particularly like financial problems. We think that, well, if I just get a government grant, I'll solve all my financial problems. And that may be true, and people do that. But what happens if you don't get a government grant? You can't go and commit suicide. You know, you can't think it's the end of the world. It's not. You're still alive. And the biggest thing, I think, is that we think that like everybody's going to point at you for being a failure. And that's not true either. I mean, that's what used to bother me a lot. I used to think, oh, if I started a business or started something as I failed, man, I wouldn't be able to show my face, that people would just point at me. There goes the Lesko, that failure. And after I had 2 businesses that failed, it was very clear to me that nobody cared. And I think that's true all the time. Maybe superficially they care or something, or somebody makes a joke, your brother-in-law teases you or something, but everybody's so wound up in their own life, they really don't care. They have their own life, they can't get through, they don't know what the hell to do with their own life. It may be, you know, something, I don't know how, this wind, are you able to hear me okay? Should I stop and do this tomorrow? But again, you may or may not get a grant for doing it. Everyone doesn't get one, obviously, but tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people do. So, but what happens if you don't? Well, again, we should plan on it, because that may be. So what happens if you don't get one, you may feel, you know, so despondent you won't work on anything. And what this woman was saying, and she's a psychologist, she doesn't help you get out of financial trouble, but I think it helps with anything. No matter what trouble you have, the way to get that off your back or off your mind or whatever is to work on it. You know, that if you ignore it and think you'll solve itself, it won't. And you have to work on it. So you what have to do, particularly financial, what you want to do is, okay, start finding out all your possibilities. Okay, that's what you want to do, is talk to as many people as you can, and professional people that handle problems. And that's why in the description here, I'll put how to find those people locally. Every state has about 7 or 8 people that all they do is help people with financial problems. Okay, so what you want to do, and get your phone out and start finding these people. I show you how to do that in the descriptions, and if you're a member, I'll send you a list for your state, because they're different in every place. You know, and just start talking to them, and don't call them up and say you want a grant. Call them up and say, hey, you want help, because a lot of these people don't have grant money maybe, but they do have ideas and suggestions of help, and that's what you want. You want help. I got a wonderful a testimonial yesterday. This woman that said, yes, we were, actually she called her elected official about her business, and she just wanted help, you know, and eventually that wound up to getting $16,000 to help her business, you know. So that's why the people may not have that magic checkbook to write or whatever it is, but they do have options to help. And you will, you know, I swear that, I mean, life is certainly a mystery, But it's more of a mystery if you don't try stuff. And you don't think there's an answer. There is an answer. It's going to be different all the time. You talk to enough people to see what your options are, and then you choose the best and do it. So if it's getting rid of stuff, it's earning extra income, there's a lot of other ways to solve financial problems. Get people. We have free organizations that will call the people that you owe money to, that will put them off so they don't drag you to jail and things like that. So there's all kinds of ways. Sometimes we just want it to go away as easily as possible. And if somebody just gave me a check for $50,000, I'll be home clear. That ain't gonna happen. Well, it may, and it does happen, but what happens if it doesn't? So then you need Plan B. And Plan B is calling as many people as you can who help people with financial problems. They know you don't have money. Don't give money to anybody to help you with financial problems. That's the worst thing to do. If you have problems financially, you don't want to give anybody money who says they're going to help you. No, you're already in financial problem by making wrong kind of decisions like that. You don't keep making them. When you don't keep digging a hole when you're in it. So that's the worst thing to do. And you're looking for suggestions. What would you do? What do you think my options are? What am I missing? What's the worst thing that can happen to me? That's what you need, somebody else's mind to help you think through, because you're hurt, you're not thinking well enough to think of all those other options yourself. So you need that help, but you have to work at getting it. So take a big swallow, get a cup of coffee, get that list. Start looking for people to call that help people for free with financial problems. One way to do it is go to hud.gov. And if you go hud.gov and put in counselors and then go to your state, you will see there's about a dozen, 2 dozen at least, 3 dozen in every state that get grant money to people to help. Maybe they may be in your city, maybe not. Call them all. Call them all. All they do all day is help people with financial problems for free. So you call them all and make sure you're getting all the options and alternatives that you possibly can before you commit suicide or decide whatever the hell you have to do. You're going to lose your home. There's a lot of legal help for free for all that. You got to go bankruptcy, a lot of free legal help for all that. So don't be afraid of any of those things, because there's free options. If you're going to Google for help, you'll know there's bankruptcy attorneys that want to charge you $5,000 to do this. You don't have to do that. And that's what you want to look for, are those options where you don't have to do that. See the outfit today? It's all blue. So what to do when you can't get that grant to solve all your problems? You still have to do the research. You still want to know your options now. To do that, you're not going to read about them on Google or magazine. You talk to people. Talk to people who do this for a living. There's lots of nonprofit organizations that help people with financial problems for free. So you want to see how other people did it, what they suggest, and things like that. Then choose the best, and then just jump in the water so you can get on with your life. The most important thing, though, if you're going to let this stew in the back of your mind, that's going to drag you down every single day. Every day that you haven't taken a step forward to solving that problem means a day lost, because your mind is in turmoil. And that means it's going to drive you mentally a problem. So that's why you have to start taking these steps forward, so you're not in that vortex of pain of not doing anything. At least you're doing something towards the end. And that's right, but it's all about motion, forward motion, no matter what it is. You call 100 people if you can. What the hell? And that becomes a game. And you say, hey, okay, maybe I could get a better idea from somebody else. I'll call 5 more people. Okay, you own your home, can't find anybody pay your taxes. Okay, find out your options first with the taxpayer. If you own taxes on your home, you call, the county tax collector, ask them for what are my options. You want to understand your options first. They all have, you're not the only one that can't pay the taxes nowadays. So a lot of these organizations have options. You want to know that. If you don't know what they are, they say, no, you must pay the bill or we're going to throw you in jail. Then you call your elected official. And if they say the same thing, then again, you go to these HUD counselors and just call a dozen of them. They're all over the state. They're going to know what your options are. Then you go and I show you how to find more of these kinds of people in the description. Again, wait till I get home so I can put those descriptions in the they're video instructions how to find these people on the internet without using Google. You don't want to use Google, okay? So I'll show you how to do that. I'm freezing, man. It's windy as hell. I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget, if I can help you, www.letsgohelp.com. And I have a new unit in our closed Facebook group that's just for, I'm setting it aside for a place to find business grants only, okay? And we're just starting that. We're going to build that. So take a look at that. If you're a member, look under units for the business grants, okay? Talk to you soon. Oh, it's cold. I don't like this.